Last week, it was minus 36 degrees actual temperature right here. Just north of here, about 20 miles, it actually got to negative 50 below zero and more across the state of Montana. So how do we deal with the temperatures that are that cold, and how do the animals deal with it? The livestock and the wildlife, how do they deal with those kind of temperatures? Well, we're going to cover that today while we help my dad ship some calves down the road. At some point, you got to get rid of some calves. So this morning, it is not too bad of weather. We're going to ship the calves down to the sale barn and sell them. Do you have 10? You got 1030 diesel oil in this? In this one? Yeah. When it gets really cold, oil gets thick, and it's really hard for an engine to turn around like this. So you put in 1030 diesel oil, which is actually, most of the time is 1540. So 1030 is a lot thinner. So when it gets colder, it's still more runny, I guess you'd say. So the runnier it is, the easier it is for the engine to turn it over. So you don't need as much battery power and everything. So all these vehicles that we have in the wintertime, we switch from 1540 to 1030 so that it can turn the engine over. It makes a huge difference. You can do the same thing with your gas engine. I just don't know the equivalent of what type of oil you need to use for that. So these calves right here are the ones that are going to get sold. I posted the video already where we sorted these off. We were one of the coldest, if not the coldest spots in the United States last weekend, and now I believe we're one of the warmest. We're like 40 degrees now. Today's little adventure about the cold is brought to you by Prime Plus Wagyu. This used to be the Wag Bar. It's completely redesigned and renamed, but it's the same great taste. It's a steak in your pocket, a Wagyu steak, in the form of a beautiful, beautiful jerky stick. Go to primepluswagyu.com and use the code Trinity10 to get 10% off right now. So you frostbit your cheek, huh?
Yeah, this one. Ow. Yeah.
It still hurts?
Still feel that one.
I don't think that block is coming out.
Well,
I think it's gonna stay right there for a while. Yep. That'll have to stay there for a while. It's gonna take a little bit to pull it out of this ice right here. When you open a gate, horses always think, oh, that's for me. Opening that for me? Cows are very different. They like, cows, when they open a gate, you almost have to like push them over to it to let them see it. But horses are always looking out there like, oh, yeah, he's he opened the gate? Yep, let's go check it out. You really want this to be the first shot. If you come down this alleyway with the calves and they turn around and don't go in the first time, then it's much harder to get them back down there. Yeah, so this was solid ice. So Dad just put some gravel and dirt on it, and that makes it pretty solid. I mean, I'm walking on it with cowboy boots and it's just fine, so. Time to go. That one, right? As we were saying, the B05.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see if we can keep her. They're feeling spunky. Don't fall over those clumps of stuff.
They're trying to stay underneath my foot.
Okay, now if you stay there, come on, buddy. No, not you. There you go. There you go. Leave her back. Come on, boys. Come on, boys. Other side of the, stay back here. So you gotta keep your eyes in the back of your head here. There you go. Need a horse, huh? Yep. Come on, boys. Yep. Get up there. Yep. Take a look. Yep. Come on, boy. Almost. Yep. There you go. Yep. Once one of them goes, typically, yep. There you go. One more. Come on. Yep. There you go. All right, well.
Okay, well that takes care of that.
Yep. And then you want to, one of these days you want to run them in and take them other calves off?
Yeah, probably, and then move the cows over to the
other pasture. Yeah. Good idea. Moving these cows around. At some point, cows have to go to become food, and that's time right now for that to happen. So when these horses are all moved around, because during the cold snap, no. During that cold snap, the water froze down there. It's extremely difficult to keep water as a liquid when it is 25 below zero or even 15 below zero. When you get below zero, that is so cold that, so we use waters like this to water stock. And you can see there's ice built up all around it, because anytime they dribble water over the side, it freezes. Now this has a heater in it, a heater system to keep it pumped up to here and then liquefied. But when at 20 below zero, I mean, you're talking Fahrenheit, that is so far below the temperature of freezing that it's still, the one down there is still frozen. So how do these animals handle that cold weather? That's the thing a lot of people have asked. And people say, well, you should blanket your horses. Well, look at this many horses. You're not going to blanket that many horses. But sometimes a blanket is actually a detriment to the horse and not a benefit. So if you look at these, if I can get somebody that'll let me walk up to them, I will show you. All thinking I'm out to get them. Here we go. Number 16 will let me. So maybe. So you can see they grow a winter coat, and that winter coat has a lot of extra underneath. It's got really thick hair underneath it. It starts to thicken up. I mean, you can see the coat there. That one's not super thick actually, but typically they're even thicker than that. Like this one here. You see how thick that is? And as they get older, they'll grow an even thicker coat. So it's like a natural insulation. When they grow that in the wintertime, that is way better than any blanket that you're going to put on them. The blanket you're going to put on them is actually very limited amount of insulation. So you want to have their hair be able to kind of stand up. When the cold air hits it, you'll see them kind of frosted on the top. That's trapping air in the hair, and that air and water kind of actually insulates the horse. Their natural coat is the best thing for them to be able to stay warm. The other thing is food. So horses and wildlife deal with cold by eating. They keep their internal temperature really high on an animal like this. They're keeping their core temperature really high, which radiates out into heat for their whole body. So the more feed they have, the better they do. The colder it gets, the more they have to eat. That is one thing that's very essential in the cold weather, is to make sure that they have enough food. Overabundance of food. Catch him and show you his coat here. Yeah, just about trip and fell. Okay, whoa, whoa, whoa. So his coat is really nice and luxurious. See that? It's just all nice and thick. Yeah. Yep. Like that. So that's how animals keep warm. People think they're helping them sometimes by putting a blanket on, and actually you will inhibit the growth of their natural winter hair by putting a blanket on them. And then you'll also pack down the hair. So if you put it on them and it packs down the hair, you're taking away some of their natural ability to insulate. Most of the time, it is better for an animal to go without a coat on than to go with the coat on, because what they're naturally going to grow and the ability of that coat to insulate them is going to be much better without a man-made blanket on there. We didn't deal with it very well with the tractors here. Both the tractors wouldn't start, and most of the time when you're starting up or in that kind of cold weather, you'll have block heaters, which, you know, of course, most people know what they are, but they're just a cord going to a little heater on the inside of your engine that keeps the engine block sort of warmed up. It's very costly as far as electricity goes, but it helps them start. The problem is that one of these tractors, the block heater wasn't working. The other tractor must not have had enough diesel treat in it. So what happened was once you started it up and ran it for a little while, the diesel will gel. It'll become kind of like Jello, and start freezing up in your filter, in your fuel filter. So you have to put diesel treat in it for those cold temperatures. Now getting to 30 below, it's just required more diesel treat than we had in that one. And once your fuel filter gets plugged, getting it unplugged means you got to take the filter off. And when it's 30 below and you don't have a shop like this, I mean, this is just an unheated barn. So when you're in there and you have to touch metal to try to get it, and then use diesel that's sitting in 30 below weather, so it's 30 below temperature, and you get that on your hands, it's just, you can't do it. It's just, you need a warm shop or something. So the preparation part of that is very key. So that's it for today. Hopefully you learned a few things about the cold weather and ranching in Montana. And right now we're going to enjoy like 35 to 40 degree weather while the rest of the country is in a blizzard. So last week was totally miserable for us. Not only was I sick, but also it like didn't get above 10 below zero there for a while. So really something else. Until next time, I'm Trinity Vandenaker. God bless.